So now I want to show some deeper insights into Debian, and I like to do these videos on Friday or to the weekend, some other kind of video, more deeper insights, and also some insights on working on my host machine with Sway Wayland Compositor, similar to i3 in X11, which is a window tiling manager or tiling window manager. So this is why we have always a full screen terminal and full screen applications. So here I am now. I want to show today how to download the Debian DVD with a specific download option, with a jigdo download. I discovered it in the last year, I think, and it's much faster when you have one DVD already downloaded and you only have to download an update of the DVD, for example. For example, you have the Debian DVD, like here. I have the Debian Trixie DVD 13.5, and I have the testing CD and testing DVD. So, and the other one is my own created copy of the Debian DVD with pre-seed setups to full automate the installation. I have videos on my channel about this. Search for pre-seed or look into my best videos. Then you see the fastest full automated installation. So, but we want to download the original Debian DVD, and for example, you have the 13.5 DVD, and the next point release comes up, and you could download the 13.6. Then you don't have to download the full DVD again. You can use the jigdo download, and then you mount the DVD you already have downloaded, and the jigdo download is deferring the all the already existing Debian packages in the DVD with the newest DVD on the mirror, and then it's only downloading the changed updated packages and use the Debian packages on the DVD on your host system and merge them into the new updated DVD. So, and this is why it's much faster, and it's also much better for the Debian mirrors, because the load for the mirrors is much less. So, and this is good for the newest DVD on point releases, or for example, also I like to download from time to time, sometimes weekly, the Debian testing DVD to have a nice look on the newest status of the Debian development. And currently Debian Trixie is a Debian stable in 2026, and Debian Foggy is the next upcoming stable in the testing status. And you can download weekly fresh Debian testing DVDs, and this is why I use the jigdo download for get weekly new fresh testing DVD. Then I can make installations with the newest Debian. So this is this, and I want to show you the web page. Here is debian.org/cd /jigdo-cd. I also recommend have a check on the main Debian CD DVD website, just debian.org cd, and then you are directly on the CD side, and then you have access to all DVDs from Debian. So we have a download over HTTP and with BitTorrent, and then you see here download with jigdo, and then you click here, and then you are here on the jigdo side. And I recommend read this by yourself in detail, then you understand. I scroll down, and let's move this here. I pause for a moment, and you can pause the video and read it by yourself. So it's just like I said, it's better for the mirrors, and you only download the changed packages. And the way to do it is, here is also a Debian jigdo Mini HowTo. Let's go here, and then here you have more detailed informations to learn about the jigdo. Here you see run jigdo-lite. Jigdo-lite is a command, and install jigdo is also important first. So you have to install apt-get install jigdo-file. Maybe I show this in a moment in a terminal. So just back to Debian org cd jigdo-cd. Here we are. Here's the information text. And then on the next page, you see here are the links to the images to download it with jigdo. We have here the stable release, and then we have the testing release. So, and then you have here the CD and the DVD on the right side. So basically you have then here a page down and scroll down, and then we see the Debian edu and the Debian Mac and then the Debian testing. So, and here these two files are important. We use just the Debian testing AMD64 netinstall. Then you have a jigdo file, and then you have a template file, and you have to download both. And look on the timestamp here, the date, then you know exactly from which day it is. And in some cases, in some weeks on the year, you don't get updates weekly for the Debian testing image. So always check when was the last update. So just to show you, this is the CD for testing, and then on DVD the same. Here information, page down, scroll a bit, and then you see we have here these files again. Debian testing AMD64 DVD -1 is important. I use always the first DVD only. In some cases I download also the second DVD for some packages, but not always. Most for the time for the installation you need only the first DVD. But you see it's available. You can download complete Debian repository as DVD, 29 DVDs. Okay, so and we have to download the jigdo file and the template file. So just to show you, I do it in a terminal later. So first let's have a check. Sudo apt list jigdo jigdo. Here we are. Sudo apt list jigdo file, and then you see this is what you have to install. Sudo apt show, and then you see some information about the package. Jigdo-lite script contained in this package. You can use your nearest regular Debian mirror to download Debian images. Here is the website again, where you get the information and where you get the images. Okay, just to show you this information. Now let's switch into the terminal, because I do everything in the terminal. And here you see I have created a project Debian installer preseed directory where I download my DVDs and then create my preseed setups and so on. And I also have directory jigdo.d. So I use often the .d ending for make clear that this is a directory, just to mention it. So here we have the ISO images. This is, by the way, normally you have use the ls command for list files, and there is a more modern one, the isa command. And this is what I use here with in this case. And the isa is more colorful. You see ls and isa, this is a difference. So this is the output from isa, just to mention it. I have aliases for this created and a script behind with a status bar as well. I will show this in the future. Maybe it's interesting for someone. I have LH alias, and this gives me the isa output. And my normal alias is L to clear the screen and list all the files. And then I have here my directories in blue, .d, 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 and here's some links, and here the files and the ISO images. So, and I have always the output sorted, time sorted. So the newest one is on the bottom. So first we have to, like I said, sudo apt install jigdo-file is to install, and then you have multiple things in there. you know, packages.debian.org, jigdo-file. Just to show you, this is jigdo-file. Here, package search for Debian. Let's bookmark it also. Trixie, Forky, let's go to Trixie. And then on the right side, you have similar packages, just to show you this, by the way. And when you go down, you have some information. So on the top, you can switch between the Debian versions, releases, bookworm, Trixie, Forky, Sid, to get informations for each one. And then you have the download list here. You can directly download it here on the left side for your architecture. And then we have also a list of files. So when you click on list of files, you can see directly what is in this package when you install it. And then you see we have a user bin where the executable binary files are. And then you have the manual pages. And then you have for user share, documentation, and also here 2 files. But the executable binaries are jigdo-file, jigdo-lite, and jigdo-mirror. And I only focus on jigdo-lite in this case, because jigdo-mirror and jigdo-file is, I think, is more for the developers or for the people that manage the Debian CD mirrors. So you only use the jigdo-lite to download the DVD. So okay, let's go back here in the terminal, and now first we have to mount the old DVD, and you see here June 3 is the timestamp for the Debian testing DVD. And when I go here, let's check first the Debian Trixie. You see Debian Trixie is 13.5 already from May. Okay, so this is no change, so we don't have to download the next point release, is not here. So we download the Debian testing DVD. Or let's do first the CD, it's a bit faster. And then we have testing, netinstall, jigdo, and template. We have May 15. So let's go in the terminal, and we see here June 3. So we are 2 weeks. We have a 2-week difference. So let's mount Debian testing.iso. Sudo mount -option loop, and then the ISO image name, and then the target mount point. And I just use the MNT mount point in the root file system. So, and then let's check lsblk, and then we see here in the list loop and mounted. Size is 3.7 GB, and this is the ISO. And we can also check df-h mnt, and then we see this also. Okay, so now we have the ISO image mounted in mnt, and then we also could use sudo find and then mnt -iname, and then I use *.deb, and then I did just use the find command and search for all Debian packages on the DVD, for example, and I pipe it into word count list, and then we see over 4,000 Debian packages are on the DVD. Okay, just to show you. And yes, so we have mounted the MNT on MNT the DVD. Now we go into the directory jigdo.d, because I don't want to overwrite this ISO image directly when it is mounted. cd jigdo.d, and then I have some information here, and then I use the terminal browser for downloading the file, because great is with the terminal browser, I go in a directory, start the terminal browser, download a file, and the file is directly in the directory where I started the terminal browser. And I use the w3m terminal browser, debian.org cd jigdo cd, and then here we are on the Jigdo website, like I showed before in the graphical browser. And here we have the links with the space key. You can page down and with the tabulator key you can jump to the next link, or with shift tab you can jump back in the links. So here we have the CD, but now I have mounted the DVD. Okay, let's do the DVD. But here we have the stable release, you see. So we have page down again, and now we have here the testing DVD. And here testing AMD 64, and here we are DVD AMD 64. And then we see here with CTRL and N you go down, and with P you go up. And then I use this and then go, and then tabulator key I jump onto the link. And when you type enter or U, it opens the file in the browser as a text file. I don't want this, I want to download this file directly. And we use the A key, save file to, and then you see the file name, and then just type return, and then download is complete. Tabulator key to OK, enter, and then we are back. And the same with the template file, type A, save to, and then you see the progress bar needs some time because this file is a bit bigger. I like this w3m download option here. Okay, and with Shift Q we can close directly w3m, and only Q is asking also. And I show you just other terminal browser, the Lynx browser. This is the Lynx browser is now on the first DVD of Debian, I think. So this is why I also recommend to learn the Lynx browser. It needs some time, and you see the w3m browser has a transparency as well, and this is black. So here's the same. With space, jump a page down, and then here we see stable release, and here we see testing distribution. And you see the highlighting is interesting here. And with the tabulator key, you also jump here the links. So let's go to the CD in this case as well, and then enter, and page down with space, and then here we have the list. And here the key bindings are a bit different, but just use the tabulator key to jump between the links. And here we have the netinstall jigdo. And to download here something in this terminal, it's different. You type just the point key or the dot key, and then you get a list which program to use, and you can use w3m for download, or you can use wget or wget, sorry. And you can jump up and down with JK, with the VI bindings. J is down, K is up. And let's use wget. For simple downloads, I use always wget. And then you see this was very fast. It's just opening wget and downloaded it very fast. Also here with the links, I can go with J go down, and with K go up. And then netinstall template, again, type point or dot, and then go down to wget. And then we will see this needs more time. And here is the progress bar of wget, and here you see the other output as well. And then it's switching back to Lynx browser. So, and then that's it. And with Q we can quit, with question, or with Shift Q is directly quit. So now you see the output here, and let's clean the screen. ls-lhtr, and now we have Debian testing netinstall and DVD with 2 files, template and jigdo. So, and now we have mounted the DVD. So let's use the jigdo command. Jigdo-lite as the main command, and I show you the manual page here. Okay. In the manual page, space for page down, B to go back. And we have here the --scan option. This is the important one. Jigdo has also ls home/.jigdo. In the home directory, jigdo-lite creates in the home directory a .jigdo-lite file for configuration. And let's do nano. And then you see this is the configuration file in the home directory. It's saving a standard image, and it's saving the mirror, Debian mirror, and there you can choose for your country, and then jigdo option and wget option and scan menu. Here are entries in the scan menu when you don't give this --scan option, and here I have media, CD-ROM 1 and wget-archives and MNT. So he would look for media CD-ROM and MNT and wget-archives for searching already downloaded Debian packages. Files per fetch 30. Okay, just to show you. And then you can start jigdo-lite just without any arguments, and you give just the jigdo-file, DVD, and then jigdo-file. The template file just has to be in the directory, and you work with the jigdo-file. So we start the jigdo-lite command and give then the jigdo-file. And then make sure that you have this DVD already mounted, the former version. So let's start this, and now you see when we start, he lists again this the DVD, and so you can check which DVD you have mounted in MNT, and then you can choose the source from the list. And then you can choose, and then you see this is the list is creating when you choose different sources. You can type them in when you start Jigdo for the first time, and Jigdo is saving then the files in the settings file here. So this is why I have 3 entries. Normally when you start with 0, he recommends the MNT, I think. So, and in this case, I don't use wget-archives and CD-ROM. I use just the MNT. Okay, and then I would type 3 for MNT, and then he would start. But I want to show you, I use the --scan option with /MNT. Because this is just faster, then he is directly starting, and I don't have to type again the 3 button. And then you see, and then he's starting. And now he is checking all the single Debian files on the DVD. So now he checks which files are already on the machine, on your host system, and which files he has to download because they changed. And normally you have, I would say, over 70% of the files don't change, and maybe only 25% files changed. Or 10%, or 5%, I don't know. It depends. For the weekly downloads, for example, when you don't download the DVD for 2 months, you have much more. When you download every week, you have not many changes. Okay. Now he's writing the first part of the image, and we see 3,800 packages found from 4,300. So it's about 10% in this region. So now he is questioning about the server, and then you give the server which you want. You found the Debian mirrors on the Debian web page. I think there should be also, let's search Debian mirrors. Here you see also Debian.org mirror list. Debian.org mirror list. And then you can choose your country, and then you have an example. For example, for Germany, in my case, FTP-DE Debian, or United States, Poland, Portugal, and whatever, Canada. Just to show you, you also have the choice when you install Debian to choose which mirror to use. So now let's start. And now you see the output. I make it a bit smaller, and then you see it better. This is how it looks. Now he has always some pause between. He only downloads 30 packages, and then he writes a milestone information here, the time and how many packages downloaded, and so on. And then I'm not sure, he writes this directly in a temporary directory, and then now you see scanning found. Okay, and maybe he's adding the 30 downloaded files to the pre-configured ISO image. So he is merging step by step the new ISO image. So this needs some time, but when you compare, and you, for example, you have also a bad internet connection, then this is very helpful, because you download just only the updated packages. It's when you download, for example, you download only 400 megabyte, or you download every week 4 gigabyte, it's a big difference. So we are here. Now you see that's it. This was faster than expected. So we have the finish time, total wall clock time, downloaded 2 files. This is only the last one. Here you see downloaded 30 files, and this happened 20 times or whatever. And then the last time it's only 2 files. Successfully created the image, and then we have the summary finished. Fact that you got this far is strong indication that ISO image was generated correctly. I will perform an additional final check, and then we have the SHA checksum, and then you see from the template it's this checksum, and then the image is this checksum, and then you see, okay, everything is fine, it's absolute correct. And then you know exactly, okay, you don't have a corrupted file also, you have really the original Debian DVD, and all is fine. This is the way. And at the end you have to unmount the mounted DVD on /mnt again, lsblk, and then we see no mnt is mounted. And then we see now testing AMD DVD from June 16, and then we have the testing DVD template and jigdo, and now we can remove -v the jigdo file and the template file, and then we can move -v Debian testing DVD in the upper directory. Yeah, I'm not sure. Okay, jigdo file cache. So, and now we can do the same with the netinstall. So now we see the Debian testing DVD is from June 16. So now let's do the same with the testing netinstall. Sudo mount -o loop mnt. So lsblk, and we see nothing. Okay, you know, maybe we give a image file, testing netinstall.iso. So, and now we see it's mounted, and here we see now 950 megabytes only. Let's go into the jigdo directory again, and then testing netinstall template. So again, jigdo-lite --scan mnt, and then we use the jigdo file, and this is how I start, and then it's going. So, and this should be much faster again, because the netinstall is 4 times smaller than the DVD. Again, checking all the files. So, and here you see found nearly 600 from 724. So only 7% or so. The mirror is okay, enter, and then starting to download. And that's it, finished. It's a checksum, and checksum match image is good, so everything is fine. And then let's again remove the jigdo file cache, remove the jigdo file, and remove the template file, because the jigdo and template file you have to download always fresh. This is what changes. And then we can move -v, first sudo umount mnt lsblk, and then move -v Debian testing netinstall into the parent directory. That's it. And then my alias clear, cd.dot, and I show you alias .dot. Here you see I have an alias which is executing cd.dot. So I don't type cd, I just type 2 points, and then I'm in the parent directory and always automatically listing the files. And now we have Debian testing-DVD and Debian testing netinstall. And I change the Debian testing timestamp for the DVD because I want the DVD on the bottom. So that's fine. So now we have the newest Debian testing DVD. And you know qemu image, create -fqcode2 fresh deb install forky.qcode2, and let's do 9 GB, and then we have this one. And I have my qemu virtual machine alias script with q connected. The main command is qemu-system x86 and so on. I show this in a deb video in the future. I start a virtual machine with q, and let's start, this is the disk, and then -cd-rom. I give now the Debian testing DVD, and then we start a virtual machine. And now we have the Debian installer here. Now we can execute a graphical install. And then I just jump to the installation, and just an example, I downloaded the new fresh installation,